I want to now show you a photo, and I want you to look at it closely. This is Kemal Kilicdaroglu. Remember this face because he may be the next Turkish president. He is taking on Erdogan in the upcoming elections. The polls are scheduled for the 14th of May, and Kilicdaroglu has been able to secure the opposition's backing. He has the support of 6 Turkish parties.
Üzerinde de bu tabu kalmış bulunuyoruz.
I consider it a duty to announce the decision we have taken following our meetings. We name Mr. Kemal Kilicdaroglu as our presidential candidate.
As the heads of the political parties that make up the National Alliance, we have agreed on the roadmap for the transition to the strengthened parliamentary system.
The decision was not as spontaneous as it looks. Far from it. The 6 parties engaged in weeks of discussions and political drama before putting their weight behind the man. A man people outside Turkey don't really know much about. So who really is he? He is the head of Turkey's main opposition party, the Republican People's Party, or the CHP. Kilicdaroglu is from Turkey's eastern Tunceli province. He belongs to a minority group called the Alevi. This group follows a faith drawing from Shiite, Muslim, Sufi and Anatolian folk traditions, which often puts them at odds with the Sunni Muslims, who make up the majority of the Turkish population. Alevis, on the other hand, make up 15 to 20% of the population. But this is an association Kilicdaroglu does not really like to talk about. The Turkish media calls him Gandhi Kemal. Apparently, he resembles Gandhi, also tries to ape Gandhi, consciously or subconsciously. In 2017, for example, Kilicdaroglu launched a 450-kilometer march for justice, asking supporters to walk from Ankara to Istanbul. He is 74. He studied economics in college and was a civil servant before joining politics. He climbed the ranks as a corruption fighter, and today he is offering to roll back unorthodox economic policies while also making a major shift in foreign policy, including working to quote-unquote complete the accession process for the full membership in the European Union. While Erdogan tried to woo the Muslim countries and present Turkey as the leader of the Muslim world, Kilicdaroglu is campaigning on steering Turkey towards Europe. Here's the big question though, what are the chances that he will win? Honestly, it is hard to say. While his party did defeat Erdogan's ruling party in the election for mayor seats in Ankara, Istanbul and some other Turkish cities, it is hard to say how much of this victory can be replicated at a national level. And here's something one cannot afford to forget. Erdogan has this sort of cult personality in Turkey. He is, after all, Turkey's longest-serving leader. Erdogan has been in power for 20 years. And that said, his position does look shaky. And why do I say that? 1, people are unhappy with the inflation. 2, there is the cost of living crisis. And those struggling to make ends meet can be unsparing at the ballot. And number 3, the monster quake. It jolted people's confidence in the government of the country, in Erdogan. Over 45,000 people lost their lives after the 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck Turkey on the 6th of February. Some 264,000 apartments were destroyed. As I speak, Turkey is in a state of despair. And there is no doubt that the tremors of the earthquake will be felt this election. Will it be strong enough to throw out Erdogan from office? The public opinion is that Erdogan did not do enough to ensure that Turkish homes could withstand the earthquakes. While he did make tall promises, Erdogan did not follow them up with delivery, with action. His government's response to the crisis also has been criticized. What works for Kilicdaroglu is that he studied economy, and now he gets to leverage that and promise Turkey a way out of the economic crisis. Also, anti-incumbency always works in times of disaster. And Erdogan knows this too well. But he appears to be confident about winning the upcoming election, which is the explanation one can possibly have for the fact that the Turkish president ruled out postponing the polls. So what are the chances that Erdogan will win? This question also is hard to answer. Analysts predict a tight race. There are some who have serious doubts about Kilicdaroglu's ability to take on Erdogan. There are others who are betting on Erdogan's ability to withstand the political aftermath of the monster earthquake. But there are some analysts who will tell you that a united opposition cannot and should not be taken lightly. But here's one thing that can turn things around for Erdogan. And what is that? Spinning Kilicdaroglu's story. Chances are pro-Kurdish party HDP may extend its support to him. HDP party leader Mithat Sankar has said, and I'm quoting, "Our clear expectation is a transition for a strong democracy. If we can agree on fundamental principles, we may support him in the presidential election." The HDP emerged as Turkey's third biggest party in the 2018 election, and it is currently not a part of the opposition alliance. So what happens if it joins the alliance? Kilicdaroglu expands his net, yes, but Erdogan gets an opportunity to turn around and point at HDP's alleged ties to the PKK, or the Kurdistan Workers' Party, which happens to be an armed Kurdish group, and whip a narrative around how Kilicdaroglu has an endorsement from the terrorists. And when that happens, remember, we told you. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.